Believe it or not, it's been a year since I started my first 2 zombies videos, which were about the impossible Easter egg, some theories, some solves potentially, and just some advanced physics that the impossible Easter egg blueprint may have had. Like many of the community members, I fell in love with the idea of hypercube, string theory, world lines, and all that stuff, but in modern zombies, I've missed it. There hasn't been a hunt for trying to explain what this stuff could be, but that changes today. In the new map, Paradox Junction, they've teased it, and I have figured it out, and I'm going to explain everything I learned about the Dark Aether. First, let's start off simple with what is the Dark Aether. You go to the fandom of Call of Duty, the description reads, the Dark Aether has coronally to its inhabitants existed since the beginning of time. Its various factions within have been in perpetual war for that duration. Whoa, okay. I'm not reading all that. Basically, to sum it up, Dark Aether is a parallel dimension that existed at the beginning of time. It's kind of like a mirror of the real world. Time doesn't flow there normally. There's people who live there. They can go in and out of parallel dimensions / timelines and abduct people in places. Okay, that's all you need to know. On to the next section. How does that all work? So now we're going to go into the more sciencey stuff. I've pulled out my notebook, and the first step is listening to a piece of intel from Paradox Junction. I know it's boring. I'll find all the good parts and put it in there for you so you can easily understand, and then I'll kind of draw my diagram and explain what I'm talking about.
Your kind have difficulties understanding the true nature of time. You only perceive a single point on what you call a timeline. Timeline. Even your language forces incorrect assumptions. A line possesses only a single dimension, forward and back. Every realm's line is, in truth, a plane. There is an up, there is a down. Many lines, threads, possible worlds, branching with every decision, woven together by the actions of every sentient in the realm.
So, like a ribbon then?
Yes, a ribbon. One that when observed from the outside would be twisting, turning, forming in unraveling knots, dancing in the larger dimensional void. And in that void, an infinitude of ribbons from realms without number, entwining with each other, then moving apart, intersecting the vast ocean of the Dark Aether at many ever-changing points along their spans.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, my attention span is fucked. I needed some, Subway Surfers for that. Anyway, you get the point. What Vaetherian was explaining is how we perceive time is linear. Past, present, future. I'm actually drawing a diagram. That's me. Yes, you see my hand. Big deal. This is how we perceive time. Now, Vaetherian, how he's explaining how it actually is within the diagram I'm drawing now. It starts as the past and the present, but within each choice, humans as a larger species make, timelines branch, and it becomes longer and longer and longer and longer, hence the ribbon analogy. And each branch is its own timeline. Every realm has its own ribbon of different branches and timelines. Now, this is the exact explanation of why we see different Richtofen, different Dempsey, and we've seen Dempsey in Black Ops 6, and he's a tombstone in Liberty Falls. Now, the reason Richtofen is this crazy Nazi Richtofen we see now is because when the World War II ended, there was a branch where the United States won and Germany won. Now, that Richtofen, which is from the Aether timeline, was blipped into the Dark Aether universe, and he was actually branched in towards the end of the war. And the Richtofen we know from Black Ops 6, Edward, he was when the United States won. Now, this Richtofen we see is the same person, just if the Nazis won. And that's how we see the difference between the two. They're the same person, identically, just different scenarios. Now, Dempsey, he's died in Liberty Falls as Tombstone. I think if I can find a photo, it's right here, but you're just gonna have to trust me on that. And that's a branch of something where he didn't die. And that goes on and on and on for every character. Now, the Dark Aether itself isn't a timeline or a ribbon, which is called the world sheet, by the way. Here's a diagram of what everything Vatharian is talking about, kinda. It's its own thing. Think of it as a subway station, and the ribbons are the tracks. You can select which one you want to go to. They're branching off different places, different locations. Now, if you have control of the Dark Aether, like the Shadow Smith does, you're able to go into each timeline and grab whoever you want. He grabbed whoever he wanted, and that's how we got the Dark Aether crew. Now, if he were to go into the future and grab someone like Samantha Max's daughter and bring her to the Dark Aether where the past is, if that interaction were to happen, which it's looking like it is, that's going to create a whole nother paradox, which creates all different branches and a whole different timeline, which is going to flood the Dark Aether. Now, we can answer a lot of questions that we've had in this series, like which ending is the canon ending for Black Ops 6? One of my more popular videos, by the way. We can answer with both of them happened, just different branches. Which branch did we go into? We don't know. The thing that excites me the most is the endless possibilities. There were infinite Richtophens, there were infinite Carvers, Weavers, Dempseys, Takios, Nikolais. There's infinite of them, and we are only kind of tipping our toes in the pool of what the Dark Aether and this timeline confirmation of different ribbons, timelines, what it has to offer. I really like the way that this story is coming now. I like the way it's leading to. I like the possibilities that could come with the Dark Aether, and I just hope they fully explore it and continue to give us what we want.